Two pieces of wreckage that are possibly from the missing Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 have been found to the west of Australia. The debris was spotted on satellite imagery, and planes and ships have been sent to investigate the sighting.
My name is John Young from the Australian Maritime Safety Authority. The Australian Maritime Safety Authority is coordinating the Southern Corridor search for the missing Malaysian Airlines aircraft, with assistance from the Australian Defence Force, the Royal New Zealand Air Force and the United States Navy. AMSA's Rescue Coordination Centre Australia has received satellite imagery of objects possibly related to the search for the missing aircraft flight MH370. RCC Australia received an expert assessment of that satellite imagery this morning, 20th of March. The images were captured by satellite. They may not be related to the aircraft. The assessment of these images was provided by the Australian Geospatial Intelligence Organisation, or AGO, because that's a mouthful, as a possible indication of debris south of the search area that has been the focus of the southern search operation since Monday, 17th of March. The image is in the vicinity of the search area defined and searched in the past 2 days. Further images are expected after commercial satellites were redirected to take high-resolution images of the areas of interest. These will be provided in due course. 4 aircraft have been reoriented to locate the objects approximately 2,500 kilometres southwest of Perth as a result of this information. A Royal Australian Air Force Orion aircraft arrived in the area about 1:50 p.m. this afternoon. A further 3 aircraft have been tasked by RCC Australia to the area later today, including a Royal New Zealand Air Force Orion and a United States Navy Poseidon aircraft. The Poseidon aircraft should be on scene now. The second Australian Orion departed Royal Australian Air Force Base Pearce at 2 p.m. this afternoon and should be on scene at 6 p.m. this afternoon. The New Zealand Orion is due to depart at 4 p.m. this afternoon and should be on scene at 8 p.m. A Royal Australian Air Force C-130 Hercules aircraft has been tasked by RCC Australia to drop datum marker buoys. These marker buoys assist RCC Australia by providing information about water movement to assist in drift modelling. They will provide an ongoing reference point if the task of relocating the objects becomes protracted. A merchant ship that responded to a shipping broadcast issued by RCC Australia on Monday is expected to arrive in the area about 6 p.m, having been diverted by RCC Australia. The Royal Australian Navy warship HMAS Success is en route to the area, but is some days away. She is equipped to recover any objects located and proven to be from MH370. The focus for AMSA is to continue the search operation with all available ships and aircraft. The ships and aircraft are searching for any signs of the missing aircraft. Weather conditions are moderate in the southern Indian Ocean where the search is taking place. However, poor visibility has been reported, and this will hamper both air and satellite efforts. AMSA continues to hold grave concerns for the passengers and crew on board, and I must emphasise that these objects may be very difficult to locate and they may not be related to the search. Air Commodore McGarry and I will now be happy to take any questions.
Mr. Young, what do the objects look like? What do they appear to be?
The objects are relatively indistinct on the imagery. I don't profess to be an expert in assessing the imagery, but those who are expert indicate they are credible sightings. The indication to me is of objects that are a reasonable size and probably awash with water. bobbing up and down out of the surface.
Can you give us any idea of the size? Like the size of a basketball or a seat cushion, or much larger than that?
No, much larger than that. The largest image that I've seen is assessed as being 24 metres. There's another one that's smaller than that, and a number of other images in the general area of the biggest one.
You said that an aircraft arrived at about 1:50. That's almost 2 hours ago now. Have you had any report back?
The aircraft has reported on the weather on scene. That's where I get the information that there is poor visibility in the area, and perhaps Air Commodore McGarry could talk about the implications of that separately.
Is that aircraft on scene, has that relocated the piece of wreckage that was spotted on the satellite?
No, there have been no sightings yet.
What will the merchant ship do? Will that, if it does find the objects, or if it gets to the scene and the objects are there, will it pick them up?
The most likely scenario is that an aircraft will find an object if it is findable, and then report back an accurate GPS position, and AMSA would task the ship to proceed to the area and attempt to see it. That would be our first chance to get a close-up look at whatever the objects might be, and progressively advance the identification of whether they're associated with this search or not.